Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz & Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz & Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Lavender Morantz. She is a serial entrepreneur and international speaker based in Toronto, whose mission is helping women globally to create and step into the life they really want. How you doing this morning, Lavender?
I'm great, Brad. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute honor and pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of the Empowerography community and share a bit about your story and your journey here with us today. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, Lavender, you're a serial entrepreneur and international speaker. You are the founder of SwankPad, Freedom Junkie, a published author, a certified nutrition and wellness specialist, and last but certainly not least, a mom to two girls. How on earth do you possibly find the time for all of this?
Okay, well, I know it sounds overwhelming, but
it does.
A lot of it works very synergistically together and allows for some leverage to be able to do all of the things. And, you know, I would say the most important on that list is being the mama.
Yes.
Right?
Of course. Absolutely. That's why I said last, but certainly not least, because I would say that's the toughest job of them all.
Yeah. Also the most rewarding.
Yes, for sure.
I just had that conversation with my 5-year-old yesterday.
How rewarding it is to be her mom.
Right?
I'm sure she agreed.
She definitely did.
Now, I read that you also have a background in the fashion industry. Can you talk a bit about that, what you did in that world and why you decided to leave that world behind?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, that's a great question because I do feel like that was a very pivotal moment in my life, both personally and career-wise, professionally. I've always loved fashion. I was like glued to like the runway shows growing up. I love makeup. I love textile. I love design. And so I thought, you know, what a great career to be a buyer. I get to choose what ends up in the stores at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. But it really ended up being, I guess I want to say like a lesson in what really is soul satisfying versus what appears to be. Because it's a feeling, right? Like, so it was a very soul crushing experience for me, personally, but it also, I think, needed to be, that harsh of an experience for me to, have the confidence to step out of it and create what I actually wanted in a career and in a life. Okay.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, it's all part of the journey, right? It's part of the experiences that shape who you are. So, you had to go through that to get to where you are today.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I also read that you went through some personal struggles related to your health and have stated that health is our greatest wealth, which is very true. It makes me think of something my grandfather used to say all the time. He says, you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have your health, what good is that money? It does you no good whatsoever, right?
It's so true. It's so wise. Yeah, I mean, I can think back to many times where it's like, it doesn't matter what you have, who's around you, whether you have money or don't have money. Mm-hmm. If your health is failing, it just becomes like laser focus. Like that is what needs to be repaired and tended to for any of the rest of the abundance in the world to matter.
For sure. So is this part of the inspiration behind you becoming a serial entrepreneur and wanting to help so many people through using your businesses for that?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I work closely with many people just in making sure that their health is the foundation of everything else that they do, right? Especially for moms and entrepreneurs and just busy humans, we often put our health, our wellness on the back burner, and we're not proactive about it. We're more reactive, which is typically what happens like in North America too, right? It's like sick care, not health care.
Yeah.
And just reversing that equation with make sure that you are vibrant and thriving first and build off of that foundation. And it's because of what I went through with both cancer and then autoimmune issues, that it was just, the constant reminder, health is your foundation. Health is your foundation.
For sure. So how would you say these experiences have helped shape the Lavender you are today, do you think?
I think that they helped in a number of ways. One is I'm just so grateful for all of the days, all of the people that are around me. Like, gratitude is like in major abundance with me, specifically because I realize that we're not all guaranteed tomorrow. It doesn't matter if it's, like a car accident or an illness or whatever, you're never guaranteed another day.
Right.
So use what you have. Right. But also too, I think it's just made me laser focused and very certain about what I do and what I don't want in this life experience that we've got going on here, So just the ability to choose with certainty what is for me and what is not. That was the biggest gift.
Okay. Now, you being a serial entrepreneur, what gives you or inspires you to have the drive to hustle so hard and run all these different businesses or these arms of the businesses that you have?
Yeah, I think I'm very grateful to have found and really crafted something that I just love so deeply that it doesn't feel like work. There's no delineation between like work and play for me because it all works together. So it's far less exhausting to be doing more things that are aligned with who you are and what you love than to be doing fewer things, let's say, doing something that's soul crushing or that totally kills your spirit or drags you down or that just is not aligned or it's out of integrity for you.
Yeah.
Right. So it appears that you can do all the things and wear all the hats and whatever, but it doesn't feel like it's work.
Right. Now, was that job in the fashion industry, was that the last job in air quotes, we'll say, that you had working for someone else before you made the jump? Was that the last place you were working?
Well, I mean, we're always working for somebody, right? I've got clients around the world.
Yes, of course. But in the true sense,
yeah.
Before you became an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I love the air quotes, by the way. Yes, that was my last and I think really only, maybe not only experience, but yeah. And I realized pretty quickly that I'm allergic to corporate. It's just not who I am as a person. And I think I shared with you prior to this call that I'm like a 9th generation entrepreneur. So It makes a lot of sense now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. The corporate world is absolutely, I mean, I come from that world too, and it's soul sucking. It's absolutely soul sucking.
Yes. And it's built backwards too, right? It's like, using people's time and expertise to do whatever, except you're not actually empowering them to be something, like be a part of the end picture, right? It's like, it's very industrial era kind of thinking, which is fun. It served a purpose at a time, but I think that everything's shifting now to more, global awareness, and people do want to be doing stuff that's very aligned with their heart and their soul and have a mission and wake up feeling like totally on fire to do good work in the world, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday and we were talking about women in the corporate world and whatnot, and how there's still not equal pay for women who are doing the same jobs as men, and there's not enough women in C-suite level positions. And she asked me, she says, why do you think that is? I said, I think it's that old boys club mentality that keeps women down. It's the men that not thinking that the women are capable, or when really they are just as, if not more capable than half the men doing the jobs they're doing. Yeah. But on the other side of that too is the fact that I've noticed a shift a little bit. I mean, it's still nowhere near where it needs to be, but I've noticed a shift with women's thinking and like, enough of this shit. If I'm not going to step up the ladder in the corporate world, fuck it. I'm jumping ship and I'm starting my own business. So I'm the CEO. I don't have to worry about C-suite level positions. Yeah. I'm the CEO of my company.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that'll be the tag for like a new business. Fuck it, I'm out of here. But yeah, like I also think too that entrepreneurship, if done in alignment with who you are, lends itself so well to like that feminine energy, and like women are just killing it around the world. They are, because you have the ability to have that creative outlet, and you have the control, so to speak, of how much money you make, what kind of value you offer, what kind of clients you work with. Like, you create it.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, one thing I always say too, and I'm wondering, I'm curious to hear if you're in agreement with this now when it comes to entrepreneurship. I think that entrepreneurship is still very romanticized and glamorized. We don't talk enough about the downside of entrepreneurship, because there is definitely a downside. I mean, this is honestly, it's a roller coaster ride. It's so many highs and so many lows, and we only ever hear about the good side of things. You don't hear enough about the struggles that we all go through as entrepreneurs and the negative side of things. And I think that needs to be talked about more.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that one. I agree, because I also feel like if we're going to be supporting, you know, the next generation of people moving into the space of entrepreneurship, you got to be pretty real about exploding that bomb up front, so that when they're faced with speed bump after speed bump or hurdle after hurdle, they're already kind of mentally prepared. Oh yeah, Lav mentioned that this was coming, you know, down the pipeline, and now I know that I'm not a failure. I can navigate this and still have a successful career.
Yes.
It'll take you out of the game if you're not prepared, for sure.
For sure. Now, do you think, this is another thing that I think anyways, in the world of entrepreneurship, that entrepreneurship is not for everybody? You have to be a certain type of person, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in we can be whoever we want to be. Yeah. So although it may not be for everyone, if that's your choice, that's totally cool, because we need people on the other end of things to keep life moving, right?
Yeah.
However, I think at any point you can choose a different path. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, maybe that wasn't right for me and I'm going to try this. Because unless you kind of dip a toe in the pond, you really have no idea if it's right for you or not. You may have just decided it's not right for you. So, I mean, I would just encourage people to just be open, you know, and maybe it's not for them. Maybe they're better at a desk job, or, you know, maybe they need to lean on the fact that they have benefits for something, or like a regular paycheck that's guaranteed every day. But the truth of the matter though is, and this is something I always come back to, if somebody can give you a job, they can take it away. Yes. There is no certainty or security in working a job.
That's right. That's
right. Like,
that's right.
Unfortunately.
100%. And so, and there's always going to be jobs out that 9-to-5s are very easy to come by.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, you're the founder of SwankPad. When did you found that business? And can you tell us a bit about that, what it's all about?
Yeah, so that was my first business, baby. It's an interior design business that's morphed into home building, renovations, like the full gambit, really, by this time. But that was my initial transition out of fashion and into entrepreneurship, because I was able to kind of carry over the skill set of fashion and apply it to design in a lot of ways, everything from color trends to, you know, textile to like all of that stuff. So that was my first business, baby. Yeah. And my first client was like me, basically. Like, I used my first home to totally redo it, like from scratch, and then take pictures. And like, that was the foundation for all of the business that came after that. And my most recent project was a heritage home that I did a complete rebuild reno in Lawrence Park here in Toronto. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So you've now morphed that into building houses, like rebuilding or remodeling houses and the whole thing.
Yeah, it grew really organically actually, because it was
Wow.
really clients who brought me in for design, and then I would end up helping with other ends of the project, and it came to a point where one of my clients ended up firing the builder and contractor that she originally hired because they were awful, and asked me to step in, and bam, like now I'm a home builder.
And here you are, a home builder.
So crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
What year did you found that business?
That was in 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
And still going strong.
Still going. Yeah.
I love it. Now, you're also the founder of Freedom Junkie. When did you found that business? And can you tell us a bit about that one?
Yeah. So Freedom Junkie is really a brand banner for the work I do. Like how you introduced me with helping women kind of globally. We're in 24 countries right now.
Wow.
And about 15,000, active clients. And I know it's crazy. It's honestly, it's like mind blowing even to like look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
But helping, it's really an umbrella to help women connect with what they truly want, and then build a life around that. And the main principle of that is freedom. It's the freedom to choose what you want. Like, yes, I like this. No, I don't like this. I'd like a little bit more of this. I'd like less of that. I'd like to be able to send my kids to this camp. I'd like to be able to go spend 3 months in Costa Rica. Like that kind of stuff where it's like, you're not, anything's possible. Like, what do you want to create? And then let's work backwards to make that happen.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just, when you give it that bird's eye view, how many people are involved and countries, and that's mind blowing. It's got to feel like an incredible sense of accomplishment to have branched out like that.
It honestly, it's like, I'm detached from like the number of it, because I'm usually working so closely with individuals that it's like, you kind of forget that that's what like the whole picture looks like. It's very, very humbling. And I'm so grateful that, people are willing to put their trust in me to help them, because it's a very personal journey, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, you've said that your vision is to empower women globally to take inspired action, create the life of their dreams. Why have you decided to make this your mission? What inspired this drive in you to do this? Yeah,
I mean, I was client zero, right? Like first the experiment was, can I do this?
Yeah.
And then just the oh wow, like reality of this is possible. And I think so many people underestimate themselves and are resigned to just continuing where they are, because they've kind of given up hope that anything more is available to them. And so if I was able to do it, then how can we duplicate that model so that now I can help somebody else do that, and help somebody else feel this way, and help somebody else wake up with purpose and passion and drive and just love the crap out of what they're doing. Isn't that the most incredible feeling in the world when you, first off, when you find your purpose or your mission in life, just for that alone, to be able to find it, because you think about that, so many people never do find that, and they end up stuck in a job they hate for their lives. But to find your purpose in life is the most incredible thing. But then to add to that your purpose in life is to help and give back to others and help them find their purpose and their mission and realize it, that there's no feeling better in the world. It's so true, honestly. It's like a pinch me moment every morning when I wake up. I'm like, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. It's so cool. That's a great way to look at it, too. I don't have to. I get to do it. I get to, yeah. Now, of all the hats you wear, Lav, which hat, aside from motherhood, of course, which hat do you love wearing the most? I think it's a tie between the speaking, because I feel like that's getting the message out there that there is more possible. You don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to stay where you are. It's okay to fail. Like, I think so many people are scared to make a move when this is all they've known for so long, that, sometimes it's just hearing somebody else's story, or somebody saying, yeah, you can do that, and I'll help you. So definitely the speaking, and then the coaching side of it with all of the beautiful women and families I work with. It's like the personal, like little stories that literally, like half the time I'm like crying on the phone with a client who like finally quit her corporate job and is home with her kids, and she gets to raise her own kids instead of like having them in daycare or with a nanny or whatever. It's those little wins that are so close to the hearts of, you know, my clients and the people that I get to work with daily, that it literally is, it's unreal to that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those two would be the biggest.
Okay. Now, do you only work with women? And if so, why do you choose to focus specifically on women?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel like it's a good match for me. Working with women, I feel like it resonates. It feels aligned. I definitely have many male clients from the wellness perspective, like product. But the coaching and stuff that I do, I have in the past worked with men. I just feel like I've naturally kind of gravitated and grown into working more closely with women. It's just kind of the life that the business took on, and I just followed it.
And would you say that the reverse is also true, that mostly women gravitate towards you as opposed to men?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like I said, grown into that. At first, when I first launched the business, I was kind of balancing both. And I just found that my message does resonate, I think, more with women, maybe just because it's coming from a woman. I'm not sure. Yeah. And I just think, you know, like what we were talking about with, there's so much opportunity for women that in entrepreneurship that there maybe is not in corporate, that I think that plays a factor too.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What is it that inspires you or lights you up the most about being an entrepreneur and your businesses?
I think it's the magic of being able to create a life you love, whether it's for me or helping someone else do it. There's nothing quite as awesome as having an idea or a dream or a wish and watching it come to life, like literally watching it come to life. It's so cool. So cool. Yeah.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
Oh, man. I would say like a combination of like grit, resilience, persistence, and just like unstoppable. I am unstoppable. I don't care how many times I fail. I don't care who tells me I can't do it. I'm going to figure it out.
See, that's key, right? That is the key right there, is to not give up. You fall down 8 times, you get up 9, right?
Yeah, it's so true.
Grit. I love that word, grit.
I know, me too, right?
So speaking of success, how do you define that word? What does the word success mean to you?
It's interesting, actually. I love that question, Brad, because I feel like a lot of people define success in like material terms. Like, what house do you live in? What area? How much money do you make? What kind of car do you drive? Blah, blah, blah. But to me, success is a feeling. Are you happy? Like really happy from the inside out? Do you wake up with purpose, with passion? Are you connected to your vision to the point that like, you know, explaining it will bring you to tears because you're so like in love with what you're doing? And you could be a stay-at-home mama raising babies and feel that way. You could be a high-powered CEO and feel that way. You could be a small business and entrepreneur or whatever and feel that way. It's the feeling. It's not a material thing. And success looks and feels different for every person.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
I would definitely come back to the health is wealth. Because I definitely, I had cancer when I was 21. Wow. And I think before that, I think I just took for granted how precious life is. And that, you know, like we said, you're not always guaranteed another day. So it immediately had me making decisions differently from a place of, what do I really want? How do I want to feel? Right? Is this aligned, or is this taking me away from those things? Yeah. And so it makes it much easier to choose yes or no to anything that comes your way in life. And B, I think it just brings such humble gratitude that everything, every day, every person, all of it feels like such a gift. You're looking for the good in things. Yeah. Right. So I would definitely say that the health component was the pivotal moment for me. It completely changed everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you share a situation that's occurred in your life that you feel provides insight as to your character, who Lavender is?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just back to the grit, right? Like I've been through a lot of things that, you know, I wouldn't necessarily make this assumption, but people have pointed out would take anyone else out of the game entirely. Everything from cancer to the autoimmune disease to, you know, clients who just decided not to pay in the end, to having a baby completely by myself, to just like thing after thing after thing, like robberies and like stuff you can't even imagine. Like,
yeah.
But one thing isolated alone could potentially take somebody completely out of the game and just stop them in their tracks. But I think it's just the grit, like
the willingness to keep pushing through.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, I really genuinely in my heart believe that everything is happening for us, not to us. That even if it feels like a hot mess, like chaos, like a shitstorm is going on, trust that the chaos precedes an up level. And so every time I've been patient and kind of worked through something magical has happened as a result every time. There's not one negative event in my life that I can say, I wish that didn't happen, because those things were necessary to become who I am now.
For sure. Yeah. Those experiences helped shape who you are. And it's like similar to what we were talking about before we even went live with the interview here, and with everything that the world is going through right now. And you can either choose to be a victim of it and fall into that deep, dark rabbit hole, or you can choose to see the positive that's come out of this horrible situation that the world is going through right now.
It's true. Yeah. And I mean, perspective is everything, right? And I think when you can get your head around the idea that we do create our own reality, and you can see it just by look at all the people going through the same thing.
Yes.
Look at the different mindsets.
Yeah, for sure.
Those people are projecting based on their perspective and what they believe, their own reality.
Yeah.
So
mindset is key.
Yeah, absolutely. And then once you realize that you do create everything that's around you, then you have the power to choose differently. Whether it's a different set of beliefs, a different set of actions, you're surrounding yourself with different people or ideas. One teeny difference in your routine in a day, like say, for example, you introduce a 2-minute meditation every morning, can completely change the trajectory of your life. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Starting with the trajectory of your day, which then in turn turns into the trajectory of your life.
Yeah, right? It's a snowball effect for sure.
Yeah. To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
Raising my girls, for sure. For sure. Like it's such a huge undertaking, the idea that like you're guiding these teeny little humans, you know, until they no longer need you and they can guide themselves. But it's also really like, it was about relearning me and like reparenting me, because, you know, although like children are given to us, they don't belong to us. They're their own little people.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's really been a cool experience and journey watching their little personalities be shaped and formed, and the things that they love and do, and very, very cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty incredible thing for sure. Helping to shape the lives of these little human beings with your experiences, and teaching them and watching them grow into people, you know. It's pretty amazing. What do you think personally is the most common reason for people failing or giving up?
I think that that's an inside job. I think that it's self-worth and whatever beliefs you've hung on to that tell you you can't do it, or you can't try one more time, or that it's not for you, or that you're not worth it.
Okay. What is one of your biggest failures, and what did you learn from it?
I love that question. I actually, and this is not coming from an ego perspective, but I don't believe that anything that has happened, I wouldn't necessarily label it as a failure, even though it may have seemed to be like taking me off track in the moment. All those experiences have added up to now. Like, so I don't know that I would call anything really a failure.
Let's call it a what is one of the most prominent times you've been knocked down and chose to get up. How about that?
Okay. So,
and what did you learn from that?
yeah, I mean, I think an instance where I would have done something differently, or where I learned to do something differently as a result of like a big fat shitstorm, would be reworking my client contract and protecting myself, because I did definitely go through a scenario where I had a client at the end of a very, very big build just decide that she wasn't going to pay, like for no reason other than, and I had given her options all the way through, right, to rework it so that the budget was a little bit different. And at every turn it was, nope, I want the original plan. And then just decided not to pay at the end. And so I think that was a really great lesson in boundaries, professional boundaries, because I was very kind in a scenario where I should have just been like, nope, this is the contract.
Yeah.
And it helped me just, surround myself with people to help in those scenarios, like lawyers, like mentors, stuff like that. So I think it just fine-tuned the process, even though it was awful going through it. I felt cheated. I felt like all of the things. But it was such a great lesson in what kind of boundaries and support are necessary so that this doesn't happen again.
Have you ever had a time where something like that has happened, and maybe it was this particular situation, or maybe you didn't have it at all, but you just felt like, fuck this, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah. I always say to my people that I coach, if you don't feel like quitting, you're not actually doing it. You're not doing the work. Seriously. Like, if you are really heart and soul doing the work, you are going to be met with times that you want to throw in the towel all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Not one time, all the time. So getting that right in your mind, like to know that that's coming is, then you have the choice to keep going or not keep going, right? At least you know it's not going to take you out of the game. But yeah, definitely have those moments all the time.
That must have been one of those times right there, which you described.
What the hell am I doing? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Why did I do this?
Why did I choose to do this? Yeah.
What would you say is one of your favorite quotes?
Oh, one of my favorite quotes. Actually, this is from a mentor of mine who I absolutely adore. And it is this: I will not be denied my success.
I like that.
And it's super simple, but it's
but it's great.
It's claiming from an embodiment perspective what is already yours.
I love it.
Yeah.
What is your personal motto? My
personal motto is, that's a good question, actually. I would say, and I know I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, I would say this is like, fuck it, let's do this. Like, that is my attitude to life.
That's great. I love that. That's perfect. Yeah. That sums it up right there. Yeah. That sums up life, not just business as an entrepreneur, but life in general.
And that's definitely my attitude to life. Like, I love adventure. I'm generally a very positive person. And it's like, if there's something that I want to do or that somebody I love wants to do, it's like, okay, let's do this. Yes. And we'll figure out the rest. Just yes.
That's it. Just jump in and figure it out as you go.
Exactly.
Love it. If you could set up a billboard anywhere, where would you put it and what would it say?
That is a great question too. I love these questions.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad I'm making you think. That's the whole point. I love it.
Right? I think I would put a billboard in somewhere very remote and very beautiful. And I would just say, welcome, you are here.
I like
simple.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but a reminder too, that it's like, wherever you are, just like be there, be in that moment. Like, life is not happening somewhere else. It's happening now. There is no other time than now.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, fuck it, let's do it.
I could do that. That's true.
You could. There's an alternative billboard, right? What gives you the motivation to keep going?
I think because my vision is bigger than just me. It's about the people that I serve and work with regularly. It's about my daughters. It's about, creating a legacy so that, there's something of value that's left behind when I'm not here anymore. That's the drive for me.
Okay.
That's everything.
What would you say is the most recent investment you've made in yourself?
I'm a big believer in constantly investing and reinvesting in yourself. So I would say there's two things. One is I just spent 2 weeks in Costa Rica, and it was definitely like a mental hurdle because like even prior to getting to the airport, I literally felt like a criminal even considering traveling, considering the state of the world, right? But then I got to the airport and it's like business as usual. And it was the most soul satisfying, beautiful 2 weeks. Like the space that it created in my heart, mentally, for creativity, for like so many things made sense and like connected on that trip for me personally.
Yeah.
So that was one. And then the other is I invested in a new course that I'm going to be taking for 90 days starting on the 18th actually. And it's very intensive, and it's more money than I've ever spent on education. So it was definitely a little bit of a stretch for me, like comfort wise, but I just intuitively know that this is the next level of where we're going. Exactly. And I think that, a lot of people make decisions based on, well, I don't have the money and I don't blah, blah, blah. I don't have the time and I don't. Yeah, but it's backwards. Like the second you make the decision and say yes to something, the resources will show up for you. You have to make the decision first. It doesn't work in the other direction.
It's hard to get into that mindset though. And I think that that's a very I think that's probably the biggest hurdle that people have to overcome when it comes to leaving behind the corporate life or the 9 to 5 and making the jump into entrepreneurship is, well, how will I afford to live the way I've been living? And I won't have benefits and I won't have this and I won't have that. I can't do that.
Right. I know it's very scarcity mentality. And again, it's retraining your brain and understanding like the laws of the universe, the way, like this is like science. That's the way it works. When you step, the universe steps, but you have to step first. You can't be like, oh, well, okay, if the money shows up, then no. I'm doing it. Where are the resources coming from? Let's go.
So is that the advice you would give someone who is struggling with that inner struggle of whether to make the jump because of money? Is that one of the bits of advice you would bestow onto them?
I would say that's the reason you have to do it.
Right.
Because unless you retrain that cycle of thinking, you will be broke forever. And what better like playing field or learning opportunity than doing it, right? You're going to get to see
there's no better way to learn something than actually jumping in, hands in, and do it, as opposed to just reading about it or whatever the case may be, right? That's why I always think, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's also having the unwavering faith too, right? It's like you have to have relentless trust and faith that once you say yes, that the universe is going to take care of the how and the who.
Yes, but you also can't fall into the trap. Well, I said yes, and I'm just going to go with it and not do the work. You got to put in the work, right? But but see, I think that's another part. Going back to entrepreneurship, I think that's another part or piece of the puzzle that people don't understand is that you leaving your job and you jumping out and being an entrepreneur, you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going anywhere. Nothing's going to happen. You have to work at it. And it's not like a 40-hour work week as an entrepreneur. It's almost like having 2 or 3 full-time jobs.
Yeah,
you have to be aware of that before you jump in too.
Yeah, for sure. And that's part of the exploding the bomb up front, right? It's like having the conversations around like, entrepreneurship is very different than working for someone else. There may not be a job description. There may not be guardrails to keep you, like you have to be self-motivated and you have to want it so much more than you're afraid of it. Yeah,
for sure. I would agree with that 100%. Who would you say have been the 3 most influential people in your life?
This is a good one. Definitely my daughters, but we'll count them as one.
Yes, absolutely. Of course.
My daughters, my parents, I would say.
You can count them as one as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I would say in both good and bad ways from that perspective. And number 3 would be myself. Like, I know it sounds super weird, but
I've never had anyone answer that question that way. I love it though. I think that's brilliant.
Myself. Yeah, but it's true, right? It's like, Yeah, you can look outside of yourself, but the one making the decision, the one behind the driver, the one driving the car is you.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
me. Yeah.
I love that answer.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire. So
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4-word answers to the next few questions. All right.
Sure. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
A party.
That's great. What is the first thing you think when I say the word future?
Right.
Would you rather be able to dance like Michael Jackson or sing like Freddie Mercury?
Ooh, neither.
Which musical instrument have you always wanted to learn how to play?
Maybe the guitar.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Money or fame?
Can I choose abundance instead?
Sure. Choose whatever you feel fit.
Yeah, abundance. We'll go with that one.
Okay. What is one thing you've always wanted to do in life but never have?
Own a horse farm.
What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
I would say that's a good one. You tripped me up on that one.
I love it. I
would say like
stumping my guests.
Good for you. It's the key of a good podcast. But money cannot buy. I would say guaranteed good health forever.
Entrepreneur life is
a lot of fun.
If I had an extra hour a day, I would
hug my babies more.
My favorite way to unwind is
probably reading or a meditation.
And lastly, for the rapid fire, the last book or podcast I listened to or read was?
Podcast was yours, which I love.
I'm honored. Well, thank you.
You're so welcome. And the last book I read was a collection of short stories called How to Pronounce Knife. It was really interesting.
What was that all about?
So it's a Lao writer. She's from Toronto, and she wrote about like the really short stories, like anywhere between like 5 and 10 pages each, about like these different scenarios and characters from her home country. Like it was so cool, like the perspective and the attention to detail and the character development in such a like small amount of like time and writing. She's brilliant. It was so cool.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
If you could step into my shoes, what would you have asked yourself that I haven't asked you?
I think you covered all the bases, including a few curveballs and surprises. Totally. Well done.
Thank you. How would you like to be remembered?
I think for my heart, my integrity, and my I guess loyalty to my vision and my people.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If you had a theme song that played every time you walked into a room, what would that song be?
I don't think it's been created yet.
All right.
There's room for that one.
Yeah. Okay. What is one of your favorite entrepreneurial books? Or give us your top 3, actually.
Yeah. There's a few. So I really love Ask and It's Given. That's by Esther and Jerry Hicks, because it's kind of like the exercise in the belief that precedes any of the material result. And I just think it's brilliant in a way that like typical like business school, for example, doesn't teach you.
Right.
But it's so important. So Ask and It's Given. I also love Think and Grow Rich for similar reason. It talks about like all the universal laws that are attached to the idea of abundance, whether it's fame, money, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And then I also just picked up this book that's super brilliant too, and it's now part of my teaching, is Ego is the Enemy, which is really cool too. And that's not like, it's like, ego in the metaphysical sense, not just in the like, narcissistic sense.
Yeah.
Like we all have an ego, right? But
Yes.
is the ego running the show, or is it in the back seat? Like, hey, like I've named my ego, for example, just so like when she's rearing her ugly head, I can call her out without the shame or judgment or guilt or attachment to that is who I am,
Yeah.
Very, very cool perspective for entrepreneurs, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with anyone in the world, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
It would be my maternal grandfather. He died about a year before I was born.
Okay.
And he's just always been somebody that I've felt this pull to like get to know.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely be him.
Okay. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Fuck it, let's go. It would. Like there are so many times that I hesitated to just do what I knew I wanted to do because of how I would be judged or what would I fail or what, blah, blah. No, fuck it, let's go. Like just do it. Yeah, that would be the advice for
That's
sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
It's a billboard. It's advice for the younger Lav.
I think I need to get some t-shirts made.
I think so. There you go. You have fuck it on the front and let's go on the back.
Oh, exactly.
Lastly, Lav, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
I think it would just be breathing life and confidence into people to do what matters most to them, to do what lights their heart on fire. And like, if they don't have the confidence, let me be your confidence until you get it for yourself.
Beautiful. I love it. Lav, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today and share a bit about your story and your journey and your insights. It was an absolute pleasure. It was a lot of laughs. I wholeheartedly enjoyed our conversation. You're a wonderful woman, a beautiful soul, and a complete and total inspiration. I've loved every minute of our interview, and I appreciate you, and I thank you for taking the time to be here and share with me today.
That was so incredibly generous. Thank you, Brad. Honestly, it was such a riot.
Once again, my name is Brad Welch, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest has been Lavender Morantz. She is a serial entrepreneur and international speaker based in Toronto, whose mission is helping women globally to create and step into the life they really want. Thank you so much, Lavender. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day.
Thanks, Brad. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at viseuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.